DSHorns.com. Pro Tools 9 and 10. Free class tutorials. Beginning, intermediate, and advanced. MIDI track.
Hey YouTube, this is Whitney Russell with DS Horns. This video is over the MIDI tracks. Alright, let's go ahead and make a MIDI track, and let's go over here. Mine is already made up. Now a MIDI track, what MIDI is basically being able to use a MIDI keyboard, and you can use different sounds from a module. Some of the Pro Tools inserts, they have MIDI. You have to go through MIDI, and we talk about MIDI just a little bit further in depth in our intermediate. But right now I'm just going to show you how the MIDI works. Okay, the difference between MIDI and auxiliary. And as you see, first off, you don't have any inserts, you don't have any sends, because it's not really, MIDI is just a way of having your sound go through MIDI. So whatever soundboard you're using, whatever sounds you're using, you're not going to be able to put inserts and sends to it, because it's not really a signal. It's just MIDI, which means, like, and I know the real definition, I'm trying to make it easy, but it's just almost like spitting out words. It's not actual sound. Okay, you do have your ins and outs. You got your pan. This one's in mono, so you got your pan left and right. You got your record, solo, mute, and the MIDIs looks like this little MIDI signal right there. That's your MIDI track type. That's how you can always tell it's a MIDI. People have asked me, what's the difference between MIDI and the instrumental track? I generally don't use MIDI a lot because you can use the instrument track. The only way for me to use MIDI, I would say, is if you have a controller that is specifically needs to be controlled through MIDI. And so you can only use the MIDI track. But most of the time, you'll end up using the instrument track, because the instrument track is like a MIDI track and an audio put together. Back in the day, you used to have to take a MIDI track and then convert it to audio. You got to send it out, but now they've made it where, okay, we're going to give you the instrument track where that's like a MIDI and an audio track. So most of the time, you're not going to really mess with the MIDI track unless you have an external MIDI device. But that's the difference between MIDI and the other tracks. If you have any questions, or if you want to view my other tutorials, beginning, intermediate, or advanced, please go to DSHorns.com. If you need a horn section on your track, horn solos, piano chords, piano solos, or help mastering your track, contact me at facebook.com/ds.horns or at dshorns@yahoo.com. And please make sure to send me a friend request on Facebook for Pro Tools updates and free plugins.